Welcome to the episode of Skis Productions. Today, I'm going to show you how to add GPS overlays to your videos so you can show your stats like wattage, speed, acceleration, stuff like that. So I'm using an Insta360, so I have the Insta360 Studio app open on my laptop. So first things first, the app on the laptop and the app on the mobile phone are two different things. So the app on your phone will actually have the ability to import your GPS data from Garmin Connect. The Studio app on your desktop does not have that ability. So first rule is basically don't trim your videos in Insta360 Studio. Don't add these overlays in Insta360 Studio. I'll show you why. So first off, I got this little bit trimmed here, just doing something that I'm telling you not to do, and to show you specifically why you shouldn't do it. Alright, so the Insta360 X5 has the ability to have GPS recorded on your phone. However, it doesn't really record GPS per se. It basically just gives you a time and date stamp. So I'll prove it to you. So go here, date and time. See? That's the date. They didn't even give me the time on here. And if I hit speed, just click randomly throughout it, nothing changes. Same thing if I add basically any of these other things. The only thing that changes really is I think the inclination or whatever. But basically nothing changes. It has no route, no nothing, no course. Basically the only thing that changes is the inclination here. So let me go ahead and just remove all that stuff since it's literally all going to be useless to us anyway. So then you're going to go ahead and export this. Now on this video I did sync my phone with the camera, so when I export it, it'll give me the option to export the GPX file. And I'll export this GPX file in the same folder as the video that's being exported. Now I've gone ahead and already exported this so we wouldn't have to wait for it to export. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over to the Telemetry Overlay app, which you have to pay for. And see, I got the video loaded and the telemetry loaded, I got the GPX file loaded, and I got the Garmin Fit file loaded. So how I usually get the Fit file is I go on to GarminConnect.com and I just click this. I find the ride that it corresponds to and export the file. Don't do the GPX or TCX. The GPX basically just is a navigation file, so it just has the course on it. It doesn't, and it's basically a map. Alright, so you export the file, which is a Fit file, which has all your stats on there, like the wattage, your heart rate, your speed, stuff like that. So after you've gone ahead and done that, you gotta import both those to here. Now, Telemetry Overlay has an add-on that you can pay extra for that could actually read the time and date data from the Insta360 videos. And what you do is you click on Add Telemetry and you go down to your SD card for your Insta360 and you would find the LRV file that corresponds to the video. So since this is the 100 video, you go to LRV 100 and you hit open and it would basically attempt to extract it. But since I'm not paying for that extractor tool right now, it comes for free for 1 year after your purchase of Telemetry Overlay. After that, you have to pay for it. Alright, so since I'm not doing that, then we go ahead and hop over to here. Now, I've already gone ahead and synchronized. Actually, I haven't synced the data over here yet. So, let's go ahead and take a look here. So you can see that's not where I'm at. I'm definitely at an intersection. So, how do we sync the data? Well, had you not trimmed it in the Insta360 Studio app, this is how you would do it. So how you would do it is you would add a gauge, date and time, and you bring this time down here, and you select the value for Insta360 Studio.gpx file. And you add another time and date gauge, add a repeated gauge, put it here, and you would select the telemetry source as the edge. So then you would go back to the Insta360 one, sync telemetry, make sure it's the Insta360 Studio GPX file synced to video start. Now, if you know exactly how far into the video you trimmed, you can still use this method by inputting the exact time that you trimmed the video. But usually you don't know the exact time you trimmed the video, so You can trim off the back end of the video, but you can't trim off the start of the video, if that makes sense. Alright, then what you would do is you go ahead and click over to the other gauge, sync telemetry. You would take the Edge data and you would sync it to the Insta360 data. You can see it gets it pretty close. But there's an issue with this when you trim your video. So this gauge here, it's using the Insta360 GPX file. This is a time and date stamp for the start of the video from when you started recording at the very beginning of the session. So I'll go ahead and show you what happens when you hit play. You can see here, Garmin's one is counting up. The Insta360 one is not doing anything. So since these gauges are basically going to be useless to us, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and remove them, since they are of no use to syncing this data to me anymore. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this dynamic map here, and I'm going to increase the appearance so I can see more of the area, and make sure expand visible data is checked, because if you don't check it, then you won't have the whole entire course on your map. And basically it will show you at the start of your course here. And what you're going to do is you're going to go down to sync telemetry, and well, make sure you have this connected. Sync to video start. That's what you're going to do. Alright, and then basically I'm just going to guess an offset here, and it's almost always going to be negative offset. So you make it a negative offset, you're going to uncheck the positive mark. And yeah, that actually puts me really close to where I'm at. So I'm at the intersection of Little Swatara Church Road and Raresburg Road, and that seems to be exactly where it put me on the map. So already just kind of guessing. I swear to God, I didn't know this was going to happen. Put me really close to where I want to be. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to look for basically landmarks and stuff that I can synchronize the video to. You want visual markers that you can sync to. Usually I try to make my videos start at an intersection. Now driveways and stuff like that will also show up on this dynamic map. So if I go ahead and play this video, so it's already got me going around that corner. So right here, first driveway, map's already at the first driveway. I'm not quite there yet. So it looks like it's off by 2 seconds. So I bring this down. Yeah, let's just bring it down 3 seconds. Yeah, looks like that's the middle. That's the middle of the driveway. And it looks about right. Now we kind of go up to the next driveway. See how well it syncs up. Right there, kind of hitting the start of the driveway. Velomobile's kind of in the middle, so that's about right. Alright, then I'm going to basically look for another reference point of my actions. So I want to see when I stop pedaling. So I think somewhere down this hill is usually when I stop pedaling. I'll coast for a little bit. And usually the time from I stop pedaling to the telemetry updating is usually about 2 to 3 seconds. Now that's not necessarily going to match up with the map, but that's just kind of how it is, because there is a delay between what your sensors are reading and showing on your GPS screen and what you're actually seeing, or what you're actually doing. So let's go up here. Looks like there's a road coming up. So right there you can see I stopped pedaling. Right there I stopped pedaling. 1, 2, 3. You can see the RPMs just drop in like 3 seconds. But looks like according to the map, everything is pretty well synced. So right there, I'm probably in the middle of that intersection. Looks like it's a little bit behind. So maybe bring it up 500 milliseconds. Perfect. So that's about where I'm at on the map. Now, if you wanted to sync that your telemetry is more real time, it may not match exactly what your speed is then, but your RPM and stuff will match. So if you wanted to do that, all you do is you just adjust your offset accordingly to get that result. But then I have a turn coming up here, so 1, 2, 3, coasting, and it drops down to 0. like that turn about right. So entering the turn here on the map, entering the turn here, halfway through, going to the outside. Yeah, I'd say that's synced up right there. Then what I do usually is I go ahead and delete this map, and your telemetry is synced. Now there's a couple other things you can do on here. Like for example, here you'll see the max speed is 50 miles an hour. We did not hit 50 miles an hour in this video clip, as you saw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and unclick expand visible data. So when you click expand visible data, what that does is it shows the maximum for the entire ride, not for the section of video that you're doing. So for example, this elevation chart here, it shows me right here in this little tiny little yellow click here, and a total of 32 miles. We didn't travel 32 miles in this 2-minute video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and unclick that. And it'll basically show you the elevation chart for this segment of the video. Same thing with this speed. It'll update to a maximum 40 miles an hour. The RPMs, maximum 130. Now it's maximum 110, which is what we did in this video. Then for this distance chart up here, uncheck that. We can see we're at the end of our distance. Here it says maximum 592 watts. Go ahead and uncheck that. Maximum looks like 260. Now you can also delete this here. I usually don't use it. Then I also had this elevation marker to show real-time elevation, and I'll go ahead and uncheck that too for that. So you can see that this was mostly a descent here, and then I would basically just export that from here, and that would be my video. And then I would open up whatever editing app I have. So I usually use Adobe Premiere Pro or iMovie to edit my videos. Those are the two apps that I use to edit my videos. iMovie is pretty good, but doesn't have as much functionality as Adobe Premiere Pro does. Like, there's some things you can do in Adobe Premiere Pro that you can't do in iMovie, and there's things that you can do in iMovie that you can't do in Adobe Premiere Pro. So they're both great apps, so using a MacBook Pro is usually the best way to go, because iMovie, for one, is actually free software, so you don't have to pay for Adobe Premiere Pro if you have a MacBook or something like that, which is the whole reason why I got a MacBook. But in any case, I hope this helps you sync up your telemetry with your videos that you do, and I look forward to seeing videos from people who found this helpful. Thanks for watching.